What's going on, guys? This is Jeff. So today I'm making this video to answer the question, is Hawaii expensive? I've made a couple other videos like this in the past, and after some thought into this and people's comments where they say, man, Hawaii is so expensive, it's so expensive, and having been that person who says, man, Hawaii is expensive, and I got to thinking about it, and I'm like, well, is your lifestyle expensive? Maybe Hawaii is expensive if your lifestyle is expensive. If you eat steak and it's got to be cooked a certain way, and yeah, it can be $30 for a meal. If you eat steak and you know how to shop at Safeway and you go to the rack where it's like, if you don't cook it today, it's gonna go bad. So buy your steak and cook it tonight and you can eat it. And it's half off. Well, then is steak really expensive? Same thing with housing. I mean, how thrifty are you? Do you need to live in downtown Waikiki? Or, yeah, if you need to live in a plush area like Waikoloa, Hawaii is expensive. But if you can live in Puna, if you can live in Hilo, if you can live on the other side of the island, then it's, and can you live in an ohana? I know people who live very frugally for very cheap. Also, is Hawaii expensive if you don't have a job? Yeah. If you don't have any income, Hawaii's expensive. So at the end of the day, it comes down to how resourceful are you, how thrifty are you, and how much into the luxuries are you, right? So is Hawaii expensive? That's kind of it comes down to your personal taste. I mean, if you're gonna go snorkeling, do you need to go out on a boat, or can you go snorkeling from land? Can you get a kayak on Craigslist? Can you shop on Craigslist? Yeah, if you go to Walmart or one of those department stores and you try to buy something brand new, like let's say you needed a desk, yeah, brand new desk is going to be expensive. But if you go on Craigslist or you go to a yard sale and you get a really good deal, is Hawaii expensive because you got a $15 desk that normally was probably selling for $400, $200, whatever the case may be? So yeah, I mean, when people say, oh, I want to go back to Hawaii, but it's so expensive. I mean, what is airfare expensive? Okay, yeah, I guess airfare is expensive, but is it really expensive? I mean, I was trying to fly from, let's put it like this, I flew back from Copenhagen, Denmark to Honolulu. I mean, yeah, basically back to Hawaii. And I was looking at flights from, actually, I apologize. It wasn't Copenhagen. It was Stockholm. I ended up having a layover in Copenhagen, but it didn't originate out of there. It originated out of Stockholm, Sweden. And I was trying to get a ticket back to Hawaii, and I was looking online, and it was like $3,000, and I was like, just one-way ticket. Like, man. But because I had traveled in the past, I knew that if I got a ticket to one of the major airports in the United States, I could get a way better deal. In this particular case, I said, well, how much is it from Stockholm to Los Angeles? And I found a ticket for $450 from Stockholm to Los Angeles, because I knew that flying from Los Angeles to Kona, I said Honolulu earlier, but I meant Kona, because you can fly from Los Angeles to Kona directly. That's another $350. You can get a one-way ticket from Los Angeles to Kona, depending on the day, for $350. I mean, if you're trying to fly during peak holidays or peak hours and certain days, yeah, no, it's not going to happen. So, I mean, it comes down to, I think expensive, I mean, anywhere can be expensive. I could go to Los Angeles and say Los Angeles is expensive. I could say San Francisco is expensive. It just depends on how I'm living. I mean, even with the thing that you would default to, airfare is, but Hawaii is so expensive to fly to. Yeah, but I mean, you could pay a lot or you could pay a little depending on how creative you get with the process, right? Okay, let's just say the next thing that comes up is accommodation. For those of you who are trying to visit here, yeah, accommodation can be expensive, but can you also camp? Yeah. Have you ever thought about camping? I mean, have you ever thought about staying in a hostel? You can get hostels for $25 to $50 a night. I mean, 25 might be a little bit low. You can camp for below $25 a night. All you need is a tent. You can't bring propane tank on the plane, so if you're trying to use a propane tank to cook, you know, good luck with that. But I mean, so to say Hawaii is so expensive, maybe it's your lifestyle that's expensive. Are you living in an expensive lifestyle? Because I think that'll apply everywhere, right? So, and most of the time your lifestyle comes from your ability to be able to live that lifestyle. A lot of times you're not able to live outside of your means unless you got like a credit card and you're young and you're just like, oh, I got a $10,000 credit limit. I'm just gonna rack this bad boy up. Yeah, and then within 2 months, you know, or less than that, probably, if you got a really expensive lifestyle, I mean, you could go through that whole thing in 1 month or in 2 days if you wanted to stay at Four Seasons. But yeah, so to answer the question, is Hawaii expensive, or to complain on that you can't come to Hawaii because it's so expensive, I think that's kind of silly, because you can come to Hawaii, get cheap airfare. Well, not cheap airfare. I mean, airfare, yeah, is $350 expensive each way. Okay, well, then yeah, maybe you shouldn't even be traveling anywhere anyway on airplane, because everywhere is going to be expensive, because airfare is going to be it's going to be pricey, unless you're in like Europe, right? And in Europe you can fly from place to place for like $100 each way. I'm sure you can do that even in America. I guess you could go from like Dallas to Phoenix for $100, something like that. But yeah, accommodation, Hawaii, I don't see why you should have to spend a lot of money. You can ride a bus around for $2 each way. $2 here, $2 from here to Lahaina. You can get an all-day pass for like $5. That's $5. But yeah, if you got to get a rental car and it's got to be a Escalade, then it's expensive. If it's got to be a Mustang, I mean, I've rented cars even in Honolulu for $35 a day. Gas is like $3.50, $3.90, depending on how much the barrel is. So I think it's not that I'm picking on you for saying it's expensive, because I've also said that. But just after some reflection to say, well, how can Hawaii not be expensive? Camp. Do a little bit more research into airfare. How are you getting around? How are you eating? Can I get a meal for $5 at Safeway right now? Yeah. Can I go to Sack and Save and get a meal for $5? Yeah. Can I get 3 of those meals for $5? Yeah. Go, what do they call that? Chicken katsu or rice. I mean, with rice and tofu, whatever, Can you eat a banana? You could probably pick a banana. I mean, if it was really, if you're really a penny pincher, right? Even if you're trying to live here, I've seen many guys who have their own YouTube channels. I think it's called Vegan Talks. That guy, I don't know how much he makes, but go watch his channel. I think it's called Vegan Talks. I'm not a vegan, but he is, and I think he talks about how he, does things. He rides his bike all around, and he makes it look like he's living a pretty happy life. So, yeah, that's my comment to anyone who's asking if Hawaii is expensive or whatnot. I can keep this video going, but you guys get the point. So if you enjoy videos like this, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks for watching.